Good evening, everyone, on this lovely Sunday in the month of September. God, it's already September. Welcome to the Battle for Athens EU 5v5 tournament. It's the semifinals, Milky Way versus Exordium. My name is J Mac Tucker, and with me on the mic tonight, unexceptional Mr. Patrick. How you doing?
I'm good. That's me. I'm unexceptional. I'm good. How about you, J Mac?
Well, I'm J Mac. I'm not unexceptional. I'm not exceptional. I'm just J Mac. I'm just here.
Expectations. So when people hear your name, they're like, "Oh, that guy's J Mac."
Yeah,
That other guy.
Just J Mac. But we got our first ban already out on the table. Athena taken off the board by Milky Way. Nobody wants to let the goddess of wisdom through.
It's a good ban for sure. I mean, Athena does so much, brings so much to that support role with the mobility and control that so few other gods bring. Not surprised to see that as a first ban.
I mean, the big taunt is just so key, especially since it's on such a short cooldown. The only other gods in the game that have any kind of taunt is Circuit. Discordia has Madness, which is an equivalent of taunt, and then there's also Erlang Shen, but his is a giant ultimate for it, where Athena, that quick 18-second cooldown, just pulling as many people, the beads burner, more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's really what you're looking for when you're looking at a god like Athena. And it lasts a long time, too. You know, it's almost comparable to like an Emir freeze, where you're controlled for so long. And the key to the taunt is that you're controlled predictably. You know, you're going towards the Athena, so you can really set that up with some big mid laner ultimates. On the other side, though, the first ban going to be Chernobog. Also not surprising, bringing a ton of mobility and damage in that dual lane or mid.
Not only that, the damage mitigation he gets from his ultimate is so big to start up team fights, because we all know Chernobog can be halfway across the map, and then he ults in, all of a sudden he's coming down with damage mitigation, all of his cooldowns get reset, and then the damage that he provides with his in-hands getting that boost of damage being the AoE with that. Great first ban, as well as the Nausea and the Baron Samedi, but that leaves Freya open.
And now in a very strong position to deal a lot of damage, particularly once you get to the Polynomicon stage of the game. You can just blow people up. Unsurprising to see the Artemis picked up, top tier hunter right now, but a first pick Bastet is interesting.
I'm not sure on the first pick Bastet, because the reason being is while Bastet does provide a lot of very early damage into the game, when she hits late game, she's really just going to be a split push, and Freya, probably one of the better no mobility mages to deal with it with the whoop, as well as her ultimate being able to get her away from the cats at all points. But instead, it's going to be swapped over to a Habois over for the side of Exordium, and Raven is actually going to be the next pickup here.
Of the Raven pick. Raven, so good at pinning down these less mobile targets like the Habois, like the Artemis. Lock him down with the root, dive on him with the Mystic Rush, slow him with the Onslaught. Really good at just bursting these characters. Artemis going to be answered with a Rom too, another late game hunter.
Going for a lot of late game, really going for the boxing here. Sometimes we see the ability hunters picked up, but this time both these teams want to go for those in-hand damage. Make sure that when that late game hits, both of them will pop their steroids, and from there, it's just going to be who has more items online, and also who hits more of those auto attacks on top of it. Ull going to be the next one locked in. This is the ability hunter that I kind of mentioned here, and most likely he's going to be thrown into the mid lane to go against this Freya, I assume, is where she's going.
Yeah, it seems like that's where Freya's been going since the rework, and Ull not is an interesting pick. He's going to bring a lot more early pressure than Freya, certainly, and at least until she gets 3 or 4 items online, but without a CC immune ult, she will be vulnerable to particularly the whoop from Freya and whatever kind of support they end up picking up. Bans coming in. We're losing some Guardians fast here, J-Mac.
We're losing a lot of Guardians. Sylvanas, Kumbhakarn, and Sobek all taken off the table here. These are a lot of very high-pressure Guardians that both of these teams are removing. Neither of these teams have their supports nor their solo laners. It's all the carry roles right now.
I get that. You know, I feel like certainly in like the season 3-4 area, you like to pick your solo laner last. Make sure you got that advantageous matchup. Fafnir is a no-brainer in this pick or in this situation with the double hunters, though. That AoE coerce is going to shred objectives.
That's the one thing that a lot of people, I think, have kind of forgotten is Fafnir's AoE course in that dragon form, giving both these hunters that increased attack speed and the bonus power on in any ability or auto attack that they hit. Great for shredding down objectives, shredding towers, and also shredding your opponents too.
Yeah, let's not forget about that. A late game team fight when Artemis gets to hit that attack speed cap, same with Uller, you're going down fast, especially if you're the subject of a knockup or a slow or a stun, which this team has plenty of. Her new reworked passive is going to make sure she deals that extra damage, which is why I love this Terra pick. You're going to get hit by everything in these team fights, and her ultimate is going to give you that 5% damage mitigation and a small burst heal.
I mean, this is also a really good team for the Artemis because the Hobwa is going to have CC. She's going to have her slow root and stun from her ultimate and all of her other parts of her kit. Uller's going to have the stun, and Fafnir's going to have a stun and a slow. So Artemis's passive is really going to work well in this instance. She's going to have a lot of ways to set up for her bonus damage. And I think that Terra is probably going to be one of the better gods to go up against that because of that damage mitigation you mentioned.
I agree completely. Damage, I mean, damage mitigation at all is always going to be good, but the burst heal is going to bring a lot. Oh, speaking of hard to kill, Cucullin. We've seen Benji do it in the Pro League where he makes Cucullin look unkillable, but with that transformation, you get the shield and the movement speed, and Cucullin can become a real nightmare to deal with, especially with these immobile carries like a Hobwa and an Artemis.
Well, the one thing that Hobwa will have for himself is that carpet to make sure that he won't be slowed down by the Freya, the Rom, or the Robin, and even the Terra. If she throws those in hands trying to chase him down when her monolith is up, Hobwa can be able to run away with that and get that extra movement speed. And on top, even slow whoever's running at him here. Last pick, looking to possibly be the Sun Wukong, looking for their solo link matchup here against this Cucullin. I mean, who are you? Oh, never mind. I don't have to ask. They answered for me. Kuzenbo, the last pick of the game.
So I actually like Kuzumbo. I feel like Kuzumbo's on the wrong team here, you know? I like Kuzumbo into the double ADC, but Kuzumbo is certainly going to be able to reflect quite a bit of damage into the late game Freya. Once the burst really comes online, she is not going to want to fire into those shell spikes at all. So Kuzumbo, I think, probably going to lose pressure in the early game. In the lane, might lose the lane, but going to bring the utility and the disruption to the mid to late game team fight. That's why you're picking the Kuzumbo.
We're going to see exactly what this Kuzenbo is going to be able to do for the side of Exordium as we get ready to go into the game. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the start of the semifinal matchup here in the Battle for Athens.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Unexceptional, still joined by J-Mac, and we are in the game at this point, following along with Marcus on the Robin, looking for the speed buff invade. Already going to pop sprint, Boss running forward, going to chase the beads out of Alka already, and that's not where you want to be as a level 1 Habwa, already taking a third of your health and losing your beads before the game even starts.
Yeah, losing the beads is definitely the big one on there, but they also burn quite a bit to get to it. They use the sprint, they use the blink from Marcus, but getting the beads is definitely a much bigger cooldown for you. You can see it's another 20 plus seconds compared to the sprint and another 40 seconds over the blink.
I like that kind of aggression, though, coming out. You want to make sure that, the Habwa isn't allowed to get off to any kind of a good start, because that's a kind of character that is going to blow you up later. On the other side, though, Ekrom and Boss just setting up in the dual lane. Looks like they're trying to prevent a possible invade coming out of Popular and 6. Already losing this trade a little bit is Boss, losing maybe a quarter of their health.
Well, good return damage back onto Ken 6, and now a lot more poke there from E-Chrome, and that's the power of the Ramas, those piercing autos coupled with your astral arrows, and now Popular taking a lot of poke himself.
This is an aggressive dual lane. They're just starting with the fighting while he supports trade auto attacks. Gonna get a good stun onto Popular. Has to use the shell just to get away. Everyone who says Terra has a bad level 1 is right. But right now it's looking pretty strong. These stuns landing.
That wasn't just a regular shell. That was a tier 2 shell because it blocked the auto attack from Boss. Stun's going to come through onto Popular, but it doesn't matter. The Hunter looking like he might take a spill here. E-Chrome just barely skating out.
No, oh, first blood gonna go down to Ken 6. Good play coming out of Popular with the body block. Good stun coming out too. Boss doing all they can to survive. Gonna try to run into the jungle, and they will be allowed to live this time. Good level 1 start.
Boss not hitting that wall was what saved Popular for living in that moment there. Able to get that level 2 early as well. Now Boss gonna be forced even further back. Another big stammer.
Oh no, Boss.
Hammer. On top of that, extra damage. Now Boss back again at 10% HP, but in the mid lane, Marcus getting a little too aggressive, falling for second blood on the team.
Interesting that Robin dies so fast. I mean, this is where you want to kill Robin before they have that shortened cooldown on the overhead kick, but also Robin loves fighting at level 1, level 2, bringing a lot of that early damage. Angry Day gonna have to back using all their mana to make sure they get the kill. You can't blame them at all. Alka gonna invade those back harpies, make sure they get off to a fast start too. Already up about a half a level on Marcus.
And that's what I like to see, is that they know they got the kill. He knows his timer on his back camp, so assuming they ran the same jungle route, it's a good guess that his jungle camp should be up. He was there a couple seconds early, but realized immediately that it did pop back up, so getting that early lead, despite losing his beads, they're already back online for Alka.
Yeah, turns out no punishment there, and that's a real shame if you're on the side of Milky Way. Milky Way really, when you get those beads, you got to keep that timer in your mind. This is the area in which we get a kill. But is that a solo kill coming out in the solo lane? The Kuzumbo going to immediately pay for the kill, but picking up the solo kill onto... Oh, no small feat.
Marcus going to be able to drop his blue buff while Alka tried to go for the invade there. And one thing that a lot of people forget that's so strong in Kuzumbo is that fight in the minion wave. But now Boss going to get rooted and crippled out. He has to run away in the duo lane, able to use that sprint to keep himself out, the heavenly wings. But again, with the Kuzumbo, dashing your opponent through his own minion wave is an immense amount of damage you just don't expect to happen. That's able to set up a big kill for him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Kuzumbo, not exactly an early game pressure god, but certainly not devoid of damage. We've got a little bit of a scuffle going on here. Angry Day in the mid lane. Gonna hold the axes, but gonna back off. They don't want to fight without help from their jungler. A little too early to take the 2v1. Couple of minutes is exactly when particularly Uller is going to want to start fighting, when they still have that early game pressure, probably once they finish that Transcendence. What do you think?
They probably wanted to get that early push, to be able to get that Transcendence early on, but instead they're going to just have to opt for their Warrior Tabi. Make sure to go the safe route here. Though they are fighting a Freya, doesn't have the most chase in the world, it's still a good idea to have that extra mobility, try and get away from the Robin that might come and gank you at any moment.
That's a really good point. Is when you're Freya, you're not all that fast. You have the whoop and your ultimate, but that's basically your whole getaway is remove yourself from the fight. Sixer gonna barely pull out that solo kill, get their revenge, and this solo lane is popping off right now. This Kukulkan and Kuzumbo looking to fight.
Cozy acting just a little too comfortable there. Went for the push, but ended up throwing himself under tower. Took 3 tower shots during that, hoping that Sixer would die from some kind of, I don't know, minion damage maybe, but just ended up not working out for him. Now, Sixer's got to be careful because Alka's here, but got that Salmon's Leap and the Blink expended. Alka going to get two abilities there for free.
That Blink might have been a little bit of an overreaction, but I guess we'll find out if they really need it in the next couple of minutes. Going over to the dual lane, Ken 6 getting rooted a little bit, going to take about a third of their health, but Artemis looking fine. Alka picking up the kill. However, Alka really dealing some damage. Ragmandu going to get the kill onto Alka, though. No kills for free in Smite. No such thing as a 2v2. Remake Doku, though, going to continue the fight, picking up Angry Day, and now Popular's in trouble. Gonna be subject to the whoop, untransforming at an inopportune time. Doku running out of mana. The one hit away. Can they close it? They cannot. Gabe with just a sliver of health.
Okay, so maybe Freya's got a little bit of damage early on. Hold on, Echrome going into the sky looking for the snipes. Needs the third one to get the kill, and he will find it under the tower. Echrome gonna be able to snag that one away, but I mean, right there, we just saw the power of the new and improved Freya, where she pops that one right before she goes into the piercing autos. She's able to throw it not only through the minions, but directly onto Angry Day, get that pop through. And I like the way that she spread out her ultimate against Alka. You're up in the sky for a while. Alka used his ult to try and further the gap, but able to continue closing, hold those shots to make sure he gets it. And Raymog Doku coming up with 2 kills in that fight for only 1 death on their side.
Important to help turn that around. Make sure that trades are okay as long as they're favorable, right? You want to make sure that if any of your guys are dying, they send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue.
The morgue. The fountain. There's no morgue in this. Did the fountain be the morgue in this case?
Maybe your respawn is the morgue. You're like figuring out how you died. You hit your T. Check out your T screen. Turns out minions did 600 damage to you somehow.
The T-screen is the keeper of the morgue. He's the one that tells you why you're here. They're the ones that have to identify. Well, let's be real. At the end of every single death, speaking of Angry Day's death, and Alka going to return one right onto Marcus, trading that one out 1 for 1. Hit your T-screen, see how much that crushing wave did.
Looked like about 700 damage. I mean, that was huge. Marcus, not particularly low on health. Not healthy, obviously, but that crushing wave, so much damage.
I mean, this is why Halbwa is so dangerous. And think about it, he's only got his pen boots online right now, and Tiny Trinket out Remog trying to get some return damage, and seeing what Freya can do, but Alka trading out his abilities. Needs to turn around for the water can. He's going to get 300 back at Remog. Remog trying to throw that one back around, but not able to find it. Both of them just skating out.
Sixer trying to make the rotation in, not going to try to let him get away with it for free, but Cozy X gonna come in, started winning the fight, but it's not gonna be enough as Marcus blinks in, deals the damage, and Sixer picks up the kill onto Cozy. Angry Day gonna pick up Boss, though. Boss caught all alone in the middle of 3 at those left side Harpies. Not where you want to be as a support alone.
And now Popular are going to get the transformation to the Dragon, pop that AoE course onto both his hunters, and they are starting to burn through this gold, but the rest of the team has showed up for Milky Way, and that's going to stop them from going on that Gold Fury right away.
Coming out of Doku and Ichrome missed the whoop, but the presence alone is enough. You don't want to try to have to secure a Gold Fury when a Frey is there. You don't want to have to rival it. Take your coin flip shot. It's just a little too dangerous this early on in the game. No one's looking to take that kind of risk.
Both stacking items now online for the mid laners. Transcendence for Angry Day and Book of Toph online for Raymog. And I can only imagine this might go into a double book build that we've seen. Book of the Dead usually coupled with that Book of Thoth, giving an immense shield come late game when you have well over 2,500 mana to your name. That shield coming in clutch in late game plays.
Yeah, particularly when you're a less mobile character like Freya with no natural escape outside the ultimate. That shield really puts in work for you. It's exactly what you need. Marcus getting a little bit aggressive, fighting Alka, going to deal about 70% of their health bar. Marcus happy to back up, though. Sometimes it's not about getting the kill. Sometimes you get the unofficial kill where you send them home. But Alka still hanging out in mid lane. Doku'd better be a little bit careful.
Well, Marcus is going to get the root onto Angry Day. He'll be able to jump away, and Alka has to crushing wave out. Marcus takes a stun from Pop Uller. Now Pop Uller's the one in danger.
I thought Doku had to be careful, but it looks like Pop Uller in the wrong neighborhood right now. Not going to be able to follow up a ton of damage off that whoop. I was expecting more, but they are going to be able to get the red buff as Sixer makes the long rotation to the mid lane. Pop Uller still, though, maybe only 25% of their health bar, not much, as Milky Way making the rotation to the Gold Fury, and they're going to try to burn this thing down as fast as they can with their essentially double Hunter comp.
They're going to be able to get this one for... No, they're not, because the Gold Fury's stolen away by one shot from Ken6 over the top. Then to the mid lane, Mark is going to be able to pick up Pop Uller, but over on the left side, up in the sky, Rimac Doku not able to finish the last one with his ult.
Close, Angry Day gonna try to jump out of there. Echrome gonna go down. 1-for-1 trade against Milky Way. They lost the Gold Fury to a hail of arrows. Sixer gonna find that kill on the backside. You need that. Those two kills. You're still losing overall, but at least it's less.
And if we take a look at the graphs there, you can see it was going so well for Milky Way, and then immediately dropped right back down to being only a 600 gold lead in their favor now by able to pick up those two kills and 3,300 experience. You can see the game is going experience-wise for Milky Way. The gold with that Gold Fury stolen away now kind of evens it back out.
Yeah, you hate to see a Gold Fury stolen like that, unless you don't like Milky Way, and then you love to see a Gold Fury stolen like that. Marcus in a lot of trouble on this right side, gonna get sumo slammed into the wall, and Cozy X picks up a kill, diving that tier 1 tower. Marcus nowhere to go, just caught a little bit late, stun, gonna come out of boss, force out the beads from Alka with no mana. That's exactly what needed to happen. Going back to my earlier point, though, oh, wait a minute. Doku making the rotation over. Plenty of damage available to kill Alka. Alka with no beads goes down to Sixer. Doku picks up Cozy. That's 2 kills going the way of Milky Way. And that's what you need to see if you're going to lose the Gold Fury like that. Continue that experience lead. Even if you don't have the gold, experience does really matter. You build up those stats from your levels. These are really good. That was a really good rotation coming out of the mid laner.
Oh, now Sixer getting bursted down by Angry Day. Pop Uller trying to retreat back to hold on, but the stun's going to come through from Boss. Jump over the wall for Pop Uller, and he'll be able to get himself back to safety. But what it really came down to at that blue buff with the rotation through is because Alka burned the beads on a solo stun from Terra with no follow-up at the moment, he didn't have it to get out of the whoop when the mid laner showed up, and because of that, Rimog Doku able to help clean up 2 kills. Looked like they wanted Pyromancer there, but just a little too much pressure from the red team to be able to grab that.
Freya sitting 4-0-1 right now, looking real strong. Gonna try to take out these Oracle Harpies. Gonna ignore them for now. Oh, trying to help Echrome, but it's gonna be too late. Echrome, victim of the 3v1. Boss gonna pop the sprint. They're gonna try to run through the tier 1 tower, hunting down Alka. Mystic Rush going in. Oh, and the tower doing the dirty work. Doku gonna grab Alka in the end, but it's too little too late. Boss taking shots from the tower, but Doku picking up kills on Angry Day. Uller just not able to escape. Doku can't get out either now. Boss gonna run away with their tail between their legs. It's a 3-for-2 fight going against Milky Way.
Sixer popping those thorns too, trying to get something, but Ken6 waited it out. The Nemean line is doing some damage back to Ken6. No, not enough lifesteal, but it doesn't matter. Stuck in the trap. Sixer will fall. Another kill for the carry. Ken6 now 3-1 on this Artemis.
Good play coming out of Ken6 there, and really good play coming out of Popular. The body blocks were hugely important, but it was also great traps, making sure that Sixer couldn't move. I think Sixer just got a little too hungry to try to even up those kills. Not a good 2v1 fight there. A little too eager.
It just didn't work out for him. He thought, well, I'm a level 14 solo. This is a level 10 and level 12 dual lane. I can fight these guys. And Angry Day, he knows that he can fight Marcus being at least even with them. 6th spill of the game for Marcus now opens up the Pyromancer for Exordium.
So in the dual lane, Echrome gonna miss the last snipe, but hit the last auto, gonna win the 1v1. Ken 6 take a seat. Echrome sending him back to base the hard way, but they will pick up a Pyromancer, contested Pyromancer. So they actually are in the lead, gold-wise.
About 1,000 experience in their, or 1,000 gold in their favor, but 1,000 experience the other way towards Milky Way. That gap in the solo lane was at 1.3 levels, now down to just 1 because of how much Sixer's been rotating and getting nothing off of it. Now looking to get a fight over here on this left side of the map with the Gold Fury respawning the next hot point of contention.
This Gold Fury is going to be huge for the next couple of fights. The game goes on, the Gold Fury worth more and more money. And so each Gold Fury is, that much more valuable until you hit the late game where gold doesn't matter as much. But looks like they're going to back up Milky Way. Just going to retreat to the mid lane, not as interested. But Exordium going to move on to the Gold Fury. And they have the potential to burn it very quickly. But no, they're going to back up now too. I don't know why they're not going for it. Break that down for me.
Well, their mid laner wasn't there for the time. Angry Day all the way back towards his T2. If they would have had Angry Day and Alka there, they could have easily burned through that. But because it's just their one hunter, Artemis doesn't have enough damage this early into the game. But now with all 5 players here, Gold Fury at half, Sixer going to go right into the middle of him, get the knock of it. He's stunned out and burned immediately.
Oh, that is rough for Sixer. I know what you're thinking there, buddy, but you're just not big enough. Oh, Doku going to go down to a crushing wave. Mark is going to try to level it out, killing Alka for free. This is a bloodbath, but the Gold Fury is still getting worked on. Exordium going to take it down. Boss in a lot of trouble. Marcus trying to peel with damage for their support. Boss at about 5% HP. Echrome battling it out. Marcus going to pick up Ken 6 in the back, though, because Cozy X was trying to pick up kills instead of protect their carry, and Marcus going to grab the double kill. It's a 3-for-2. Exordium gets the Gold Fury, but loses 3 members.
Again, it's a repeat of the last Gold Fury that they had, where Exordium gets it. Now, this time Exordium didn't steal it. They actually started and completed it themselves, but they lose more than they gain, or so I thought, as Marcus trying to chase a kill onto Angry Day at the back camps. Actually going to trade it out now, even 3-for-3, plus the Gold Fury. Echrome trying to get the shots onto Angry Day, but with no mana left, he can't continue the fight.
It's just got a little greedy there. Echrome is going to be able to steal this red buff, though, and buff invades are one of those things where they seem like they're probably not hugely important, but certainly throughout the course of a game, we can see those add up very quickly, and that's why we see Echrome with the 2-level lead over their lane opponent, Ken 6, I think.
Little too long you stuck around here, Echrome, trying to get that purple buff with no mana. Quick rotation there from Ken 6 and Alka to make sure that he perishes for that. Yes, he stole 2 buffs, but he loses his life. And really, when it comes to buff invades, the big thing is keeping it away from the enemy team. When you have Angry Day at 5-3, almost has 4 full items online, keeping a red buff away from him is a big deal.
Going for the buff invade, I like going for the red buff invade. I don't like going for the purple. You stay around too long, it's just not worth it. You have to have those respawn timers in your head. You have to know that the other team's respawning, they're coming, and anytime you have no mana, it's always dangerous to be in the other jungle alone. Looks like we might have a little bit of action coming up in mid lane here. 6 are going to sneak into the mid lane. They're all going to back away, though. Nobody wants to fight just yet.
Oh, and just as quickly as he snuck over, he's going to sneak his way back to the solo lane, farm up those minions alongside Marcus. Try and build their lead back up a little bit as the gold has now gone back towards Exordium's favor. 3,200 and experience has finally dipped down in Exordium's favor as well, but only about 600. So for all intents and purposes, the game is pretty much dead even right now.
It is. You're probably not going to feel it quite yet. It's maybe a tier 1 item per person, per team. Boss starting the fight, charging through the monolith. Exordium just bailing, though. They do not want it. They sensed the 5v3. And they're not looking to take these uneven fights, though. Cozy X throwing out just for a little bit of poke.
Yeah, Kappa. Kappa's always fun to throw out there. Everybody loves a good old Kappa.
Maybe my least favorite ability in the game to be hit by. Not because of what it does, but because of the, hey! I
What do you
just go
mean
full
worse?
tilt
That's the
every
best
time.
thing in the world, especially if you get a kill with it. Like I think it yelling "Hey" is the best thing in the world.
I mean,
I
it's
don't know what
so
you're
fun
on.
to do it, but when it hits me, I just feel my blood pressure skyrocket.
It's telling you, "Hey, you shouldn't be getting hit by me." That's what it's telling you. It's telling you to get good.
That's the problem. It's like, how did I let this happen to me?
Well, Boss is going to get hit by another one. He's going to get slowed down, shoved into the middle of the enemy team, but up into the dragon form, Popular goes.
The shell gonna survive though as the board goes rampaging through. Everything's going in the favor of Exordium right now, but no kills on the board. Boss has to go home. Sixer might have to go home in a minute too, relying purely on that MP5. The blink in by Koziak's gonna bring Sixer into the team fight, and Sixer's gonna go down. Great blink charge coming out of the Kuzumo. Kuzumo's not done. The charge is up again. That sumo slam over and over again, throwing out the Kappa, hitting Doku. They're pressuring this tier 2 tower, but it still has quite a bit of health. I think they're going to have to back off here.
Yeah, they're going to pop that water carpet, throw out the Kappa, get a little bit of extra level there for Cozy. In this 4v5 situation, they're at a little bit of an advantage for Exordium. They expended quite a bit, though they do still have the ult from Alka if anybody gets a little too aggressive. Was that a 4-man whoop?
There's a 4-man whoop. Marcus diving on top with the Mystic Rush, hits everybody, but somehow Marcus is the one who's taking all the damage. Exordium, after getting 4-man whooped, have turned around. Doku has to use the Aegis just to survive, but I don't know how long it's going to last. And there's my answer. Alka picking up the Freya for free, and that's a staggered death as Sixer just now respawning. Exordium in a great position to pick up one of these objectives, but it looks like they just want to back.
Raymog, though he had a perfect 4-man whoop in that fight, Marcus initiating with his ultimate was the deficit for it. He thought, there's 4 people in the air. They can't hit me until they land. And as soon as all of them landed and they got hit by that ult, they turned and immediately burned onto Marcus. Raymag didn't have anything left to continue onto the fight. No, Marcus now working on that Pyromancer with the rest of the team. So despite everything, they will get the Pyromancer, but just a fight that looked like it was going to start so well for Milky, it goes sour quick.
Turn of events. Certainly, in my opinion, the 4-man whoop not somehow immediately winning the fight. 21.5 minutes is when Exordium is going to start up the first Fire Giant, up 19-17. Popping the Frenzy, that's the go switch. They're just going to burn it down right in Milky Way's face. Boss has to drop the ultimate to try to survive this team fight. Sixer already using the Thorns, only going to hit one with the ultimate, and Exordium is surging forward, but not really dealing any damage. Cozy going to miss the blink. Sumo slam pops the shell spikes. They are going to grab Boss. Just got locked down for too long.
That board tearing through the backline too, just to make sure that they can create enough space to go for this tier 2 tower. Only 3 other towers on the map remain once this one falls, both the dual lane, one in the mid lane. And as soon as that frenzy got popped, I mean, I saw them starting at the Fire Giant. I'm like, okay, they're going to start it. They're just going to kind of poke it, bait for something. And all of a sudden, that frenzy popped through, and the Fire Giant went from half to nothing in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, really. I thought the exact same thing was going to happen. Really smart play coming out. The Phoenix, though, at about a third of its health. 6 are going to go down again. Alka hitting the crushing wave. Marcus at half health has to retreat, and this double Hunter comp is going to tear down that Phoenix without a minion wave. And that's the beauty of the double Hunters with a Fire Giant. 2 Guardians bring so much health to the table. They can tank that up for such a long time. And when you're sieging the Phoenix like that, you're basically saying, hey, take this disadvantage fight, or we're just going to get your objective for free.
And really, all 5 of the members play a vital role. You know, both of the carries, they're dealing damage to the Phoenix. Alka's dealing damage to the enemy gods, while both of the other tanks are soaking up the damage or providing the CC to allow them to continue doing so, which is why Marcus able to fall. Cozy's going to push Boz out into the backline, and this is the job of the Kuzubo late game, is just to be the biggest pain in the rear you have ever met.
Yeah, it's just, hey, you're going to hit me? You don't want to, but you don't want to. I'm going to charge you again, and that's what's happening. That charge in combination with the kit on such a low cooldown. Cozy really showing their experience with this character, playing Kuzenbo exactly how you want to see Kuzenbo get played, which is to stand in front of your auto attack characters and be like, hey, what are you going to do about it?
He's got the 30% cooldown reduction as well with the boots and breastplate of valor. So by using that shell spike, he's not only returning the damage back to the enemy team, but he's also severely reducing the already 30% cooldown reduction on his other two abilities. You can see in those fights, he's getting 2-3 kappas off in rapid succession, as well as a couple of pushes throughout the entire duration of it. This is what's made Kuzenbo so strong as of recent, is that Shell Spike buff that came to it, reducing not only the kappas cooldown, but now the sumo slams.
So at 21.5 minutes, that's when Exordium started the Fire Giant. At 24.5 minutes, all of 3 minutes later, a 14,500 gold lead and an 8,000 experience lead. That experience lead is still very real, as there's only one level 20 in the game. That's 2 levels in support, 3 in mid, 2 in the jungle, 1 in solo. I mean, this is real, a real level difference. And the gold, nobody has even finished their build yet outside of Alka?
On the side of Milky Way, nobody has their build complete yet. Everybody's still looking to finish off even their 5th items in some instances here, where you flip over to Exordium, Cozy's got a full build, Angry Day is almost finished with his Odysseus bow, Ken 6 just needs to sell off his blessing and he'll be near full build, but for all intents and purposes, these guys are swinging basically twice as hard as the remainder of the enemy teams, and Cozy gonna go right in onto E-Chrome.
Forces out Boss's ultimate and Sixer's ultimate. Sixer left here alone. Angry Day gonna pick up an easy kill, but Alka gonna come in from the side and pick up Doku. That's so much damage and health off the table. Elkhorn in a bad place, and that's gonna put him in the dirt. Popular gonna get the last hit on that one. That's every Phoenix down, and only Marcus left to defend the Titan. I'm gonna call this one early as Marcus dies. Game 1, go on the side of Exordium. That Fire Giant, so much value.
Not only that, I mean, obviously the biggest value being able to push down the Titan. All 3 Phoenixes, every single tower with 1 Fire Giant is a little unheard of. That's 7 structures and then the Titan in a span of, what was that, not even 4 minutes that happened? This is what happens when you get that big of a lead on your gods, especially on your carries like Angry Day. Alka able to get 8 kills of his own on the Habwa, and everybody being near that full build threshold. There was just too much damage for Milky Way. They didn't have enough tankiness to help them.
It really felt like Alka was not under enough pressure. You really have to put that Habwa just under hard duress. Make sure that, that has to be Marcus's job, right? It felt like Marcus was always dead, Alka was always alive. Obviously, that's not always true, but it's what it started to feel like as the game went on. Boss and Sixer were regularly caught out of position. It looked like Sixer kept wanting to engage when the rest of their team wasn't so sure. And if you're engaging alone against this double hunter comp, you're already dead. There's nothing you could do to stand up to that kind of DPS.
When you're dealing with a Habwa, I really didn't feel that the Robin was the choice to go into it. Remember, the Habwa was picked before Robin was, and Habwa has just about everything that Robin wants to try and do, but Habwa does it a little bit better because he can negate what Marcus is doing. Marcus has a slow built in. Here's slow immunity from Habwa. Marcus wants to blink in and try and dive. Well, here's a knockup from the Habwa into an ultimate that you can't do anything against at the time. Sure, Marcus can try and use his ult to maybe jump over a crushing wave or jump from danger, but Habwa has so much chase and peel potential against this Robin. It just did not work out for them come late game.
You're absolutely right. When you can't pressure a Habwa tends to do a lot of damage. That's exactly what we saw this game. We also saw great damage coming out of Angry Day and Ken 6. With that, that's going to be the end of our first game. We're going to take a short break while we set up for the next one. For you, mi amor. I'm unexceptional. With me still is J Mac Tucker.
I can't believe I'm still here, man. Why do they even keep me around this place?
Series of bad decisions.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. It is Jithin's running the show here, so I guess that's the only reason I'm really here at this point.
Out for the side, Zhang Kui as the first ban, followed up by Chernobog. Surprised to see Zhang Kui banned out first. I think that's got to be a larger strategy to try to make sure that they're able to pick up a powerful god like Baron or Freya.
That's the only thing I can really see here is the Zhang Kui getting taken off the board so early. Maybe it's a targeted ban against the enemy team here. We didn't really get to see a whole lot into the earlier portions of the tournament where this may have been a relevant pick for him, but that does open the door, like you said, for a Baron Samedi, who will be the first pick after a Naja and Freya ban.
Baron, I think we've seen Baron most successful recently in that solo or support role. Not really seeing Baron get played in mid, so this might be a Sobek Baron lane. You know, be it in the duo or solo lane. Waiting on that second pick though, coming out of Exordium. I like Sobek. I like this kind of priority, especially if it is solo v solo though. And Fafnir going with the double Guardian comp again.
Really, like you said, the biggest success that we have seen is the Baron solo, like in players like Variety, or the Baron support with players like Polar Bear Mike, who really showed what this god is for. And he has two very different roles, but they do very similar things depending on which spot you put him into. For the support, you're not looking to be the big damage dealer. You're not looking to be, the, hey, look at me, what's going on here? In the support role, you're looking to be the peel and the early aggression to set up for your hunter by hitting that snake toss there, making sure to try and lock down your opponent and burn as many relics as possible. In the solo lane, you're just looking to farm up so you can be a tanky, beefy, hard-hitting god who also is just a, hey, come over here with the big vacuum ultimate.
I think Baron right now is my favorite support mage. I know it's early. All right, I might be rushing into this, but I think I like Baron more than I like Nox as a support mage. Ao Kuang being drafted very early. Jingwei, not as surprising, but Ao Kuang right out the gate.
Ao Kuang this early is a little bit of a surprise, but at the same time, I do like the confidence with it. We do know what Ao Kuang is capable of damage-wise in this game, is that Dragon Call very early on, as well as the Wild Storm, able to do a ton of damage. And I would really like to see this Baron go into the support role with this Jingwei because it offers a lot of setup damage. Hitting that snake will guarantee you can hit them with the Persistent Gust. Then on top of that, you can drop down Baron's extra damage, and they're just going to get chunked early on.
Yeah, that will be absolutely brutal. Exordium was hovering Terra for a while, which was confusing. But they're going to end up actually picking Medusa, which I very much like. There's a lot of control so far on the side of Exordium. Lot of CC. The mid-game team comp right now looks bonkers.
This is just going to be a massive amount of fighting in the dual lane already. Whether this Baron is going support or whether it's going solo or even mid, there's still the option for the Baron to take that route. The dual lane we already know from the side of Exordium with Medusa Fafnir. That's a lot of extra damage that's going to come through on that Acid Spit, even the Lacerate, and the Viper shots now that you can get up to 4 of those late game. Those are really going to start chunking through this enemy team. We see the Habwa ban here, not going to allow Alka to pick that one back up again.
That's a smart ban. On the other side, Thoth and Neath getting banned out too. Mid picks sort of on opposite ends of the spectrum. Neath, strong early and mid. Thoth, very strong late. Looks like they do not believe that Baron is going to be going mid. I'm guessing that's Neath mid instead of Neath ADC. That's usually where we tend to see her.
Yeah, we really don't see Neath as a dual lane hunter much anymore because she's highly favored for how much her abilities scale and deal damage in the early game. One of the hardest hitting hunters of all of them with that Transcendence build that's become so popular for the mid hunters. And lastly, Agni going to be a band away, and we see Angry Day hovering that Fool one more time, looking like he might lock that one in with double hunter Fafnir comp yet again.
So this would be an interesting pick because we've also seen a fair amount of Medusa mid. I feel like Medusa in seasons past has been one of the go-to mid hunters because she also brings that huge ability damage from the acid spray. lacerate with the lockdown, and like you were mentioning before, the Viper shot. Now that it goes up to 4, she's a little bit more viable as a regular hunter. But I wouldn't be surprised to see her go mid either with Uller, as long as you pair the Uller with probably the Sobek, who brings a little bit more peel to the table.
It's not completely out of the question. We did see Yaman play it back in the Season 2 Worlds and was one of the deciding factors on their victory up against Enemy at that time. But still, hovering this Ul hasn't locked it in yet. Angry Day really debating on whether he wants to run this one back. Maybe he just had to go to the bathroom and we're just kind of sitting here talking while he takes a tinkle. Who knows in that situation here. Still a couple more picks on the side of For You, Mi Amor. Looking at possibly their mid, and we still really don't know where this Baron's going. With this Baron pickup here so early on, it leaves this up for debate so much right now.
That's absolutely one of my favorite parts about the first. See, I think you pick Baron first, not because Baron is necessarily strong enough to be a perennial first pick, but because the god has so much flexibility that you pick Baron first, and then they go, oh, is that a mid laner? Is that a solo laner? Is that a support? You can't counter pick it right away. You know, your first 2 picks can't be against Baron. They just have to be for you, and it causes confusion.
I think that's the big thing that makes Baron, and one of the things we haven't seen as much recently that we're now starting to see that rise of is that flexibility, the ambiguity. It used to be so popular back at the end of Season 4, early Season 5. It's like, are they going to go here with this god? Are they going to go there? And you'd see 3-4 gods picked up, and they could all run multiple roles when the warrior jungle was big. And now that assassin and mage solos are also a thing, it opens a lot up for interpretation. But we did see the Ul get locked in, so Angry Day going to be locking that one in. Whether he's going to be the one running it, or if he's going to allow his mid lane, or if he's going to allow his hunter Ken6 to run that one, will be up for debate. Now we're looking at a possible Tyr and Giannis hover here.
So I'm always a fan of Giannis. I think Giannis is one of those characters where, even if you take a lot of the damage out of his kit, he still brings so much utility that he's going to be good. And Tyr, I think, is a criminally underplayed solo laner. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm passionate about this. Tyr's kit is bloated. I don't care what anyone says. He has 2 dashes, a CC immune leap, a disarm now after his most recent buff, ton of crowd control. His passive means you can only CC him for 1 second no matter what. Tyr is bonkers, and I'm super excited to see him play against particularly the Sobek. Awilix going to be the last pick for this, and we're about to go into the game. So everybody, we will be right back with the actual game. I'm Unexceptional. This is J-Mac, and stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and Smite fans, to the finals for the Athens, Cup. I am still unexceptional, joined once again by J. Mac Tucker.
Is it always going to be me? Can we get somebody else in here? Can we get T-Jack Mucker in here? We need somebody else to take over this spot. This is getting ridiculous in here. We have a tier.
What?
We have a tier. You talked about him. You love him. You talked about him. You didn't even mention that he's got a heal that scales too.
Yeah, and the heal, he's insane. He can CC a whole team with his Fearless when he's in his power stance. I mean, he does everything. His health is a little bit low for a warrior. That's true. So you have to build him. You have to make sure you build some health into his kit. But
minor details. I mean, minor details onto that one. Axel going to take a lot of poke in the duo lane. Hammer plus the acid spray dealing quite a bit back to him. He's going to have to take a little bit of a back step there.
You can't underestimate how much damage that hammer does early. I mean, it's almost mage powerful, and more importantly, it sets up so easily for the acid spray again. Axel doesn't want to be first blood so badly. Not a lot of peel coming out of Within's Baron at level 1 either. Axel has to pop another potion, and this will only get them to maybe half health. The pressure firmly against them.
You can see there's already been 2 rounds of the Baron's Brew popped by Axel. That's only one more kind of multi-pot that's going to be available to him. The smalls of that purple taken away, and this is one thing that I do love seeing, is seeing the small purple invade. Going to be able to hit that level 2 during this next wave, and that's so big for them. They've already got a big lead, but the knockup on the Ken 6 is good.
Axel making sure they peel for themselves early, which is what you need to do against this Baron. Baron going to eat a hammer, though, and another big acid spray. Baron's going to have to back off as the health bars are firmly on the side of Ken 6 and Popular, and they've decided they're, you know what? Who needs just the small ones? We're going to get the whole enchilada here. Baron almost steals it, but not quite. Good invade.
A little too early on that Vivid Gaze, but Cozy picking up a solo kill onto El Playero. The tier going to be taking a spill for first blood. An Angry Day in the mid lane going to return another one.
Coming in hot, looking ready to fight, showing why they made it all the way to the finals here. And that's 2 solo kills bright and early in this match. And once again, Axel is so poked out. Not as big a deal with Jingwei. She can fly back to lane very quickly with her rapid reincarnation, but it's not the precedent you want to set early.
Oh my lord, Ray Shadow chunked down. He was at full HP, and now he's at like 20% because of one combo that comes from an Alka getting the knockup into the axe, into just every bit of damage possible back at to him. And not only that, Ray Shadow lost those backcamps. Once again, Alka helping get pressure in mid, get that early level 2 kill, able to steal away a backcamp from Shadow.
That's what you need to do if you're Alka. Awilik's going to bring so much more early pressure as El Playero trying to steal the speed buff. Not going to get away with it, though. Going to get pinched a little bit by this Uller. Is Uller giving up the ghost? Yeah, El Playero coming back to mid lane. I don't know what this routing is, but the good blink. Going to get past that mid laner. Just leaving Koziak alone in the solo lane, though. Instead, going to fight the mid laner 2 levels his senior.
But the problem is there's no mana, but Angry Day had just enough to fire that bladed arrow right to El Playero, having the minions aggroing him as well. Exordium 3-0 on the scoreboard already, and it's only 3 minutes in the game.
Angi gonna lose the red buff to the other team. Ray Shadow about to fall. 1% health. Still a little bit too close to this fight for comfort, but the health bars are dropping for the side of Exordium. Ken 6 falls to a good portal. And there's Mongi picking up that last hit. Ray Shadow gets the assist right there. Popular Going back to that
And
Uller.
right there, what we saw with Baron is what you want to see from your Baron support. Once Baron hits level 3, has access to the entirety of his kit, minus the ult, obviously, you hit that snake on anybody unsuspecting, and that's going to be at least half their health bar, especially if somebody's with them. And it was able to set up the consigned spirits to get the heal that allowed Ray Shadow to stay in that fight and be able to help get that kill.
Yeah, that's Baron's. I think the most frustrating part of his kit to play against is for sure the snake. You have to remember too. It's not just a one-player route. If the madness is full, it spreads to adjacent players. You can get big AoE routes, and that is so difficult to play into. As Alka gonna very successfully gank El Playero on the right side. Cozy is dominating this lane. Remember when I said all those nice things about Uller, or excuse me, not Uller, Tyr?
I mean, you said quite a few things about them, and I'm still waiting for them to be true here. So far, I think you casters cursed the game before it even started by mentioning so much about Tyr here.
Like I did, because Cozy is up 3 levels on El Playero, and this isn't 3 levels like you're level 18, I'm level 15. You know, we're all both pretty big. This is level 6, level 7 to level 4. El Playero is still without an ultimate even. This lane is going to be an uphill climb for our Tyr playing friend.
And you can see he's trying to play defense, putting that ward, but now he's put himself in worse position as he's now on the wrong side of the map. Cozy's going to hit him with a sickening strike. Alka going to turn and burn away from it. That was a perfectly timed blink from El Playero, able to get away from the charge spray.
Playero is doing well, is dramatically blinking.
He's 5. He's safe. He's 5. He's got an ult.
It's all smooth sailing for Tyr. Everybody, don't you worry about your old friend Tyr. He's gonna do fine now that he has a gigantic CC immune leap that is almost unmissable.
Almost. But portal into the mid onto Angry Day. He's gonna take a lot of poke. The execute gonna be immune out by the purification. Means Mongi. Oh, I thought Mongi was gonna get that, but Angry Day saw it coming. A quick sidestep. He'll get to go back to base.
Played defense coming out of Angry Day. The perfectly timed beads to avoid one ultimate and a beautiful sidestep to avoid the other. That was the definition of squeaky bum time. I think every muscle in my body just tensed up. I got a little workout watching Angry Day escape that situation.
Keep those glutes maximized.
That's
Gluteus
the only
maximus.
way that my glutes know how to be is to the max. They're straight from the 90s.
Mid harpies. Picked up by Mongi. He'll go back to base. Picks up his boots. Now towards that tier 1 of the soon probably Book of Thoth that we've been seeing is so popular as of recent. Also has a lost artifact that he started with. Gives him that MP5 and that extra 20 magic power. We haven't really seen a whole lot of Mongi early on. We had a little bit of a skirmish, but Angry Day
to cut you off, got the stun on the invisible Ray Shadow, did so much damage, and the great rotation coming in from Alka to knock him up, guarantee the kill. Angry Day 3-0 and 0.
So Angry Day's
talking
just
about the build now.
Okay, I'll talk about Angry Day's build. The Transcendence once again going for this one now at 45 stacks, building it before his boots this time. As you can see, he's only got his boots 2 and nearly fully stacked at 47 on the trans. He gets this camp. That'll be the entirety of it. Portal drop through. The last one stolen away from him, and he's not happy about that. But Alka is going to trade out and get El Playero one more time.
Now in the middle of 3, dropping the health fast, has to get out of there. Great shell coming out of his support. Popular, but not enough to get away from the party. Now it's Popular in a bad spot, jumps away with less than 10% experience. There's the ultimate Monkey from downtown, picks up. And Popular can do about that one. Sometimes Giannis just sees the future and gets the kill.
Ooh, Ken6 going right onto with it. Needs one more in hand. Make that 2 now because of Consigned Spirits. But Ray Shadow is here as well as El Playero, but he's going to get turned to stone right away. And it's not looking good for Ken6 as Ray Shadow turns it around.
Like F. incorrectly says, there's no such thing as a 1v1 in high-level smite. There is such a thing, but it wasn't that fight. what looked like a great fight coming out of Ken 6 got turned by a great rotation from the Ray Shadow. You never know. You turns out you literally can't see the invisible Ao Kwang coming.
God, Axel just got eliminated by Angry Day. This is the power of the axe stun from the Ul that everybody's so frustrated by. Is when you're 3 levels up compared to your opponent, you're able to just burst them with one rotation of abilities. Angry Day really putting work in with this Ul.
Uller so much more in the mid lane than I do in the dual lane. You get a lot more solo farm. Mongi under a lot of pressure has to retreat under tier 1. Going back to Uller, when you get that solo farm, you can stack up your transcendence so quickly. You get that solo farm, you're 3 levels up on the other hunter. And Uller, early and ahead, is a monster. It feels like he can take you 100-0 in 2 abilities, and that's really what we're seeing right now. Fight breaking out over the red buff, though.
Well, he's going to hit the snake, but Popular does have the leap, so he's able to get away from that one. Ray Shadow trying to get these Oracle Harpies, will secure those for his team, but this is what we like to see out of the Baron Samedis in this mid-game kind of transition here is get that snake, see if you can force something out, whether it's a beads, whether it's a heavenly. Got to get something out, but now Popular going into the Draconic transformation, and Within immediately going to go up onto the life of the party, but Within's the one getting turned on.
Oh, great ultimate coming out of Ken 6. Very intelligently played. Ray Shadow going to pick up Angry Day in the mid lane, though. So a 1-for-1 in 2 very different fights, completely different lanes. I wasn't sure I liked that ultimate coming out of Popular. It was a little bit telegraphed, and it was a really good ultimate coming out of Within, but no auto attacks as a hunter. It turns out you deal quite a bit of damage, and without the natural tankiness that a Guardian has, Within's melted before the gaze of Medusa.
And that's also the problem that we just saw there with the factors. As you said, it's a very telegraphed ultimate. Because of it, Axel was able to drop down the Persistent Gust and Within immediately up onto the coffin. But the problem is they don't have enough damage this early on. They're not going to be able to burst out the Fafnir with a fully stacked Gauntlet of Thieves online, as well as a fully evolved Guardian's Blessing. Didn't even need to use the shell in that instance because he knew that he wasn't going to take enough damage from it.
Yeah, Popular with a much tankier build going on than Within's right now. Within's really only defensive item is the Lotus Crown, and that's only 60 physical protection, which isn't bad. And it brings a lot of MP5, and the passive is really what it's there for. Make sure that you hit people with Consigned Spirits, or excuse me, you make sure you get the heals going, and then you build protections from there. But in and of itself, not a particularly tanky build for the support Baron, and that's dangerous. We have a fight going out in the back. Harpies. Oh, Ray Shadow dies before he can get the execute off, and somehow Cozy gets out of there with no health.
Snake is going to be good on Alka. It's going to hold him in place, and Mongi going to finish him off with the Unstable Vortex, dropping through the portal. That might be one more form as Axel gets the last hit off.
2 for 2 supports and junglers both, and there's Cozy back from the dead, gonna pick up Axel. Never saw the crocodile coming, and that's where they prefer to hunt. 3 for 2 going to exhort him. Good fight, not perfect, a little bit sloppy, but they come out the victors, looking for the Gold Fury. I don't know if Angry Day and Cozy have the damage, but now that Medusa's here, now that Ken 6 has showed up, and they're just going to swap this Gold Fury back and forth, make sure nobody has to tank it too long. And that one looks real free because they know that Giannis is through space and time is down. No one's going to steal that from him.
So that whole fight was able to continue going the way it did because Ray Shadow not only didn't get the execute, but he didn't get the execute onto Cozy. Now, obviously, Cozy only came through with the 1 kill at the very end, but because he stayed alive so long, he had to force out more ultimates, more abilities to try and continue forward, where Ray Shadow is not able to get the heal off. And it all comes down to one perfectly timed charge prey as hold that as Ray Shadow bursted out by Alka. But the thing that everybody kind of forgot was charge prey now has that CC immunity when you hit your target. He went for the execute at that immediate moment and just got negated out instantly, thrown into the back. Instead of getting the heal, he got killed.
Watching those perfectly timed charge prays to avoid things is one of my favorite things in all of Smite. It makes me think a computer is somehow in charge. Exordium going to pick up the free Pyromance, being popular in Alka. Objective play right there. You got to stay objective minded as we check the graphs. Show me some graphs. 5K.
All right, so player damage. That would get him.
Experience column.
That would get him. El Playero only level 12 right now, just doing his damnedest to try and farm up here in the solo lane while the rest of the map is focused here into the mid. And Kensik's trying to push down that left side. Mongi's got a portal. Cozy. The snake is going to be good to get some damage. Into the waters, Cozy goes into the middle of 4 people.
Axel had their ultimate forced out early, that air strike, so Jingwei a little bit more vulnerable if that's where they decide. Jingwei going back to lane, though, where it looks like Ken 6 is ready and waiting, but in the mid lane, Angry Day going to pick up tier again. Space and time goes down. The 1v1, Ken 6 still looking for Axel, but Alka going to pick up a kill as Ken 6 picks up another kill. 3 for 0 so far across the map. Ken 6 under pressure as Ray Shadow going for the kill. Uses the beads to try to escape, negate the ultimate. Ray Shadow still going to get the kill anyway. Ken 6 doing their damnedest. I got to say, Ray Shadow left with just a sliver of health. Good turnaround, but it's not going to be enough as Exordium goes to the Fire Giant. I think they're going to get the big guy for free.
I mean, it's already under half HP. There's nobody here to stop them. Everybody is back in the base. Mongi's already used his ult. Ray Shadow doesn't have any kind of teleport, and neither does El Playero, and that's the downside here is nobody has a way to get to this Fire Giant, and down it will go. Now, thank you, Exordium picking that one up at just 15 and a half minutes, but now Ray Shadow, see if maybe you can turn this around and get something off of it. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
It was a great kill, making sure they pick up Alka. Oh, there was El Playero coming in with the ultimate, but misses by a wide margin. Did get Angry Days. They had a little bit more confidence in that ultimate than maybe El Playero did. Ray Shadow, though, doing a great job picking up the kill on Alka. That's a big target to make sure that they don't have the Fire Giant. Probably not worth going for more and trading your life, though.
He just wanted that blue buff so badly, but not able to get it. Cozy gonna keep him from going inside that portal, but El Playero not gonna have the opportunity. Throws him right back into the lane. Sports here, but Popular not gonna hit that hammer. Instead, he's gonna be tossed around by the tier.
I forgot the tier also technically has a knockback at the end of Fearless if you also use the power cleave. Just one more form of CC the tier brings to the table. That's all I'm saying. But one thing that negates tier's passive back block. Tier can only be CC'd for a minute, but that doesn't apply to knockups, which is important in a matchup like this going against Sobek.
Well, now, with that Fire Giant around their waist, they do have 4 towers to push down. It's the same situation we saw last time for Exordium. First Fire Giant, 4 towers up. Alka going to take a little bit of poke there from Ray Shadow. Consign Spirits from within, not going to hit either. Now it's this left side that they're looking to push down as well as the mid. Ken6 not able to get that tier 1. Alka is here. Ray Shadow is going to return some damage through, and Alka trading out. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Ray Shadow.
I had to take a minute and just look at how much health Ray Shadow had. Axel forced to use the ultimate. Couldn't get hit with the long range arrow though. Even though Alka died, that left hand tier 1 tower, and if I was a gambling man, which I'm not, I would say that they'd also pick up this tier 2. Look how fast it is melting before them. Double Hunter really does deal a lot of damage. Mongi, though, with a great opportunity to get a kill, but misses the unstable vortex, and he's going to die for it. Angry Day picking up another one, but Ray Shadow comes back into the fight, makes Angry Day pay for it. Popular on their own. Ray Shadow just hunting hunters. Gonna get Ken 6 as well, and this fight isn't done yet.
They melted the tier 2, but in return, the hunters, the carries for the team got melted by this Ao Kuang, and this is what we were talking about, where the damage can be crazy come the late game for him. For Yumi Amor is going to get the Gold Fury, but Popular going to trade it out and get 1 kill of his own. Ray Shadow going to take a spill, and now with Cozy here, it's not looking too good for Within.
That jump was a work of art to hit the invisible Ao Kuang. Alka going to get Axel. Cozy gonna get Within. Within just staying around too long. Don't know what they were doing. Of kind of not so smartly timed 1v1s is how I'm gonna put it. Whoa. What do you think? Am I right about that?
It's a little bit too much of sticking around there. Yes, they got the Gold Fury, but as soon as the Gold Fury ended, they tried to separate. The problem is both of the tanks for Exordium came through, and they purposely split the team. They said, you're going this way, I'm chasing you this way, and then Popular able to make his way back to team up with Cozy, help take down Within. Because of it, Alco was able to keep one of them away for so long to be able to get that kill. Now, Ray Shadow onto Popul, but his Fafnir is going to go right over the wall.
Right over the wall and into the arms of a Giannis, though. Giannis doing as much damage as they can, but they're only level 16, 2 levels behind Uller, who's just shown up. We know Angry Day has a mean Ull sitting at 8-3-3 at less than 20 minutes. Ken 6 getting the kill. Here comes through space time. It's not going to find anybody. Cozy hunting down Giannis. Not going to be able to detonate the ultimate before Giannis gets through the portal, but Within in a dangerous situation. A lot of crowd control, but that's a big heal and a great portal coming out of Mongi to save his support's life.
This is the big thing for Giannis players, just being able to utilize that portal to get your teammates out of danger. But he can't do the same for Axel as Alka takes him down. The left side Phoenix falls. 2 Phoenixes remain, but the Titan is exposed with only 3 members left alive. Into the Dragon form goes Popular, and it looks like they're trying to end it.
Popular gonna die. Mongi picking up the kill, but the Titan, 10% health, maybe now 5% health. These double hunters are doing a ton of damage, but the defense is showing up here. Just doing a little bit, but not gonna be enough. Angry Day gets a kill right before the end. 25-13, your final score as Exordium win their second game.
20.5 minutes. Exordium closes this one out. Almost 5 minutes faster than their last game in almost the exact same fashion. The first Fire Giant picked up within that 4 or 5 minute timer of the next one. Exordium able to close it out. Now, they didn't get all the Phoenixes like they did last time, but still pushing every single tower, getting at least one of those Phoenix to open up that Titan room, and then just pressing the gas pedal and shoving themselves right into the enemy base. Exordium, your champions of the Battle of Athens.
Well played from Exordium. A gutsy call to end it, and that's what I like to see myself. You put it all on the line. High risk, high reward. Go big, go home. They went big. And as you said, that's your champion for the Battle of Athens. Coming up next, we're going to figure out for the Battle of Asgard. Going over to NA. Stay tuned. Stay with us. We'll be back in a second.